show you something in advance before starting up my presentation. So, no, fine. So have a look to my phone. This is the screen on my phone, and we will have a short look to a very similar SCADA system what we've seen before, just a little bit slightly different. This is the user interface of the SCADA, and you can see different companies from different countries connected to different accounts in this SCADA. Maybe you can recognize some of the local ones, and even more Croatian. But to be more exotic, I will show you something in India happening right now. As you can see, we have 4 sites, 2 different places now in India which are in this. They're actually really live. It happens right now, and you can see that we have alarms and we have warnings and we have events exactly as in all SCADA systems, and they have these PODs, actually the sites where the gas transfer is going on. You can see that latest information from Ahmedabad, for example, we've got 10 minutes ago. Actually, it was a very slow consumption and good pressure. But if we go to Pravin Industrial Limited, 9 minutes ago, they had 3 bars and 200 cubic meters by hour. So if you are even more curious what happens in that very exotic place, then we have a closer look. And you see the pressure is more or less stable. It's kind of Indian-style gas transfer station stabilizing not very well. The flow rate starts to increase because India is quite light and late in the evening right now. And we have a lot of other data, temperature of the gas and so on. I show you some details about the flow rate. Okay, it's increasing. If I'm even more curious, then I'm looking to the kind of a report kind of table, and I know everything about the technology of this station. If I'm having a closer look to the pressure, you can see here in the end that the alarm and warning limits are set. As soon as the pressure will reach a certain limit, it will send me an SMS and will give an alarm too. Just to show you something maybe even more interesting, because it's really SCADA kind of functions. But if we go deeper in the subject, here you see an allocation. This is how much gas we sold today. Actually, they sold 2,400 cubic meters today for this customer, and this month they sold 17,000 cubic meters. Just to make it even more interesting, here we have the profiles. What is the profile of my customer? What is their habits, their needs? Okay, this is a daily profile. This is how they behave normally in a normal day. But if we go a little bit closer, we will see that actually I have a weekday profile. During winter time, the blue ones, they consume more. It means they're using it for heating too. And during summertime, they still use a little bit more gas. No, so these are the weekend days. They still use a little bit of more gas in the weekends. So just going back, we see 2 different kinds of information. One is SCADA kind of. The second one is gas management. Out of that, we have all the necessary information in this screen, what I need for the gas business and for operating the pipeline, the network. Okay. And now let's do it faster. Okay, if somebody's asking me what is Keystone, what are we doing, then we used to say we are the gas platform company, we are providing gas platform services to our customers. If I want to be a little bit more precise, I will say that we are the lucky company. Why are we so lucky? Because in the difficult years, when the gas market liberalization started up in Eastern Europe, especially in Hungary and Romania, and we met a lot of confusing and difficult concepts, like allocations, like nominations, like profiles, obligatory communication at a given period of the time in a day between the market participants, equilibrating the network. Even the multinational companies had a serious issue how to handle these difficulties. And we've been in the right time, in the right place, having a small fraction of the right knowledge to try to handle this situation. So why we've been lucky? We've been lucky because at least 3 large multinational companies decided to cooperate with us in solving the liberalized market problems they met. This is how it happened that for the time being we have close to 1,500 monitor stations in ENI. We have about more than 2,000 in Gaz de France. And we have close to 5,000 E.ON. And we will extend it with about 2,000 stations this year, the ones in E.ON. Why we are lucky? We've been lucky because these 3 giant companies were financing us with more than 20 million euros in a few years' time. So we had money enough and power enough to develop the right solutions, the right products, and the right applications for this liberalized gas market issue. And why are we lucky right now is that using that knowledge, using that technology developed on the money of the multinationals, now we can offer by kilogram to the small companies something what they would never be able to pay for millions of euros. And this is how it happens that in several countries, several companies, you can see in Bulgaria, India, poor Ukraine, Romania, Hungary, France, Italy, we have installations live and working. Of course in Croatia too. So, what we offer? We offer first of all interfaces and reports out of the field devices. If you are a small gas distribution company having 2 transfer stations and 1 mobile phone, then you are our customers because you can handle all your issues using your mobile phone. If you are a bit larger, then it's fine. If you are so big as Gaz de France, as for example, this is the dispatcher room of Gaz de France in Bucharest, then the same technology, same application will perfectly work in that environment too. Okay, what we actually offer, what is a little bit more structured? We offer all the necessary solutions to monitor your network and to be sure that it's operating correctly. And in the same platform, we offer all the necessary solutions to handle your liberalized market issues. This one means allocations, profiles, nominations as the main important documents. People believe that gas companies need SCADA. No, gas companies need gas platform. SCADA is made for atomic power plants, for refineries, for pharmaceutical companies, for gas transmission companies. Gas distribution companies don't really used to have SCADA, but they badly need gas platform because the gas market liberalization is just coming. What we do? We offer the field devices as products, as everybody, and we offer the rest of the, which is computing, data processing, SCADA application, we offer it as a service. So, if you have a small distribution network, you have 20 gas transfer stations, and you want to monitor it for, let's make it absurd, you want to monitor it for 1 month. Then you can sign with us an agreement for monitoring for 1 month that 20 stations. Nobody else can do that. Let's have a closer look to the products. We have a full range of products for different sizes, different solutions. I will show you the extremities only. Oh, before that, all these products, they share the same features. First of all, they have synchronized measurements. They measure exactly in the same second. It's not easy to understand right now, but if you think about that in maybe 2 years' time, we have to make balances in the network to eliminate losses and to calculate how much network losses we have. That will be a huge importance. Then autonomous operation. We don't need electricity at all. We don't need communication network at all. If we have GSM coverage, we are fine with that. Redundant communication. All the devices, they have at least 2 SIM cards, and they switch automatically between 2 providers if one of them is facing difficulties. And end of the day, we have local storage on all the devices because we store financial data. It's custody transfer data, which is monitored by the taxation office as well. So we are not allowed to lose data at all now. If you have a large station like that, with remotely operated valves, with multi-branch skids, with many correctors, as for example, then most probably we would suggest to use this device. This device was developed on the request of Gaz de France. It's one of the very few devices in the world using field bus in a battery-operated environment. We use field bus in refineries, in large companies, but field bus in a gas transfer station where you have no communication, no energy, it's quite challenging. Field bus in our concept as gas people is equal with extensibility, which means that if I need to acquire data from one single corrector, I can do it as I can do it with anything else. But if I want to extend it with a few pressure measurements, I simply extend the bus with the necessary field bus devices. If I want to extend it even more, then I put even more devices on the field bus. If I have some more correctors, then I put the protocol converter modules on the field bus. But don't forget, all these, they are working from the batteries which are inside in this device. And they are working for a long time. Just talking about pressure sensors. There's a new, very interesting change in the world. The digital pressure sensors, not the transducers, but sensors are on the market already, which means that from the root, from the interface, it senses the pressure. I already have a digital signal, so there is no analog processing anymore, which means there is no calibration anymore. You can check it because you are obliged to. You can adjust it because if you wish, but actually it's not necessary. So the sensor itself is calibrated in the manufacturing company in Switzerland, and most probably in the next 20 years you don't have any kind of to do with this sensor. Out of that, the consumption of such a sensor is 70 microamps at 3.6 volts, which means that it will operate endlessly from a battery. So, to translate it, digital pressure transducer is equal with long time accuracy. If you have a medium station, the typical one we have in Croatia, we have a very standard solution for that. Interesting is that the devices are having their integrated solar cells, and If you see salt in the end of the type number, means lifetime energy. You don't have to replace anytime any battery on that. Aeon? No. Let me take it other way around. In several countries, there's a regulation that consumers having a certain consumption must be monitored. This limit in Hungary and Romania is 11.5 cubic meters by hour. Actually, it's expressed in a little bit different way in energy units, but you have to calculate it. All the consumers consuming more than 11 cubic meters by hour must be monitored. The issue is that the number of the consumers between 11 and 110, it's about 10 times higher than the range, all the range above. So there's a need, it was a need for a low cost, easy to maintain, easy to operate device. Aeon was asking us, and they ordered it, and this is the result. It's a small device, it's ATEX certified, you can install it in the ATEX zone. It's cost effective, a lot less expensive than the previous ones, and funny enough, no solar cell, but lifetime energy, because it's a new generation of batteries lasting for 25 years. The lifetime of such a device is 15. The consumption is so low that you don't have to replace the batteries all its lifetime. This is something new, it's quite unusual even for me, but apparently it's fine. And now let's go to the bureaucracy. Liberal gas management. We produce for you in the cloud application all the necessary or the most important documents you need for handling these liberalized market issues. First of all, allocations, profiles, nomination, and something interesting, nomination analysis. Out of that, we produce to you two reports, a technical report about your stations and one about daily supervision, because we supervise your system, including your measurement system too, and correctors. So, if you have a look to allocation actually is the annex to your invoice. All these columns here, the amounts of money expressed in volume of gas. So, most probably it's one of the most important documents because this is the source of your incomes. And we produce it for every station, and you will see a lot of bureaucracy after because that's why. We produce something more interesting, you've seen it in my phone too, data profiles. This customer usually behaves this way during the day in a winter day, winter working day, and behaves this way during a summer working day. You can see that they are cooking in the winter too and the summer too, but the heating is a lot more during the winter. Why the profile is important? Important is that this is your customer. These are the people buying the gas from you. You must be aware about their habits, you must be aware about their needs, and you have to anticipate their gas need because you are obliged to nominate, and that one will cost you a lot. Okay, we see it by week, bureaucracy again, and then this is the most challenging one, the nomination report. Based on the history of the consumer, we do our best to produce you the most reliable, most precise nomination. Nomination is a forecasting. Actually, it answers how much gas I have to buy for tomorrow for my consumers. If I buy too much, I will lose a lot of money. If I don't buy enough, then I will have to buy the gas in the spot market the next day, and that gas will cost me 7 times more in Hungary, as for example. Which means that if I made a mistake in nomination, my profit of that week is gone, and who knows what will happen next week. So this is the reason why the nomination is so dangerous. Nomination penalty limit in Hungary is 12%, in Romania is 5%. In Hungary, I would say it's acceptable. In Romania, it's absolutely not acceptable. It's all the Romanian gas companies, they will pay from 1st of July hell of a lot of penalties because of the wrong nominations. The issue is that not the penalty is dangerous, but the extra cost of the gas in the spot market. 7 times the price is really a lot. So we produce to you this nomination, but we send it in Excel format too. If you wish, or if you have some other information, you can correct it. Otherwise, use it as it is, and we will see what will happen next day. Of course, we will document the weather forecast too. So this nomination was prepared based on a certain weather forecast. If the weather forecast is not okay, and they make a mistake of more than 6 degrees, at least in Hungary, you are released and you don't have to pay penalties anymore. This is the reason why we should document the weather forecast errors too. And after 2 days, we prepared another report, which is nomination analysis. We compared what we forecasted to what really happened. Actually, this report will tell you how much penalties will I pay in the end of the month. So out of this business-related report, we prepare a so-called technical report about every station in part every day. This is a station in Bulgaria. You can see here the consumption of that given consumer. In the same report, we document the pressures, and you can see it was nice and stable, and we document the gas temperature, which was quite hectic, but it was quite cold at time. If you have this document stored in your file server for every station, for every day, then you're on a safe side against your customers, or against your consumers, and even against the Industrial Safety Institute. Okay, so a summary of report. If you have this technical report, what we do? We get your data in our cloud application, we produce this report, then we store your reports in your own storage. If you say my storage is Dropbox, it will be Dropbox. If you say my storage is my server, then we will store it there. We can write, you can read. That's it. So all your data is in-house at you. We don't store it after we prepare the report, but you get it ready prepared. So technical report, you have it, you are safe side against the Industrial Safety Institute. If you have the allocation reports stored, then taxation office will ask you once time, you have it all documented. If you have the profiles saved, again, you know your customers. It's absolutely normal to know our customers. It means that if I have all of that, I have a fully documented operation of the gas distribution company. Everything else belongs to something gas, salaries and taxation, everything, but everything related to the gas business is documented perfectly. And automatically, by the way. So, as a final summary now, you've seen we have a wide range of products. Have a look to our website, we'll see that we have a wide range of solutions. We offer services which can be counted as reports, first of all. Of course, you have the online interface you've seen on my phone. Very similar interface you have in the PC or in the dispatcher room. But the really important things are the reports what we prepare for you. We offer cloud computing capacity for processing your data, and we supervise your network, which means that we supervise, first of all, our devices. We will see if your corrector is behaving okay or not. We will be the first one observing that the battery from your corrector is gone, or there's something wrong in that station. And actually, we don't ask nearly nothing compared to the value what we provide to you. Our only expectation is that from the incomes you get from the gas distribution, sometimes transfer some small amounts of money because of that we need it. So, this is everything I wanted to tell you. Thank you for your attention. Very special thanks to Thermoplin and Hepplin and Electrometal and Moncodim Vinara. These are the Croatian companies already using the service. Actually 3 of them here contractual based, 4 of them hopefully soon will sign the contract. And I hope that next year I will have 2 pages in the list with smaller letters. And very, very special thanks to ex-agents, our Croatian partners, who did a really, really, really great job with a lot of trust, and they invested a lot of energy and money in these opportunities, and now we see them successful, and we are very, very, very happy with them. Thank you very much.